Hey there, Wendy.
Hello.
So, my partner today for our interspecies spiritual practice is Wendy Brtalik. Let me tell you a little bit about Wendy. As an ordained animal chaplain, Wendy explores interspecies bonds and provides spiritual and emotional support to animal caregivers, to animal companions with empathy, wholeheartedness, and dignity. In addition, she leads business development. This is going to be important in a moment. Business development and strategic partnerships at the Art of Monday Morning, which helps organizations incorporate mindfulness into their culture. We talk about that word around here a lot. Supporting everything from stress reduction and performance to communication and alignment with an organization's core values. She believes in the power of human connection and practical change. I like that, Wendy. Me too. When Wendy's not collaborating with others, like she is in her business or with me today, you'll find her exploring nature with her dog George, traveling or supporting local animal rescues. Welcome, Wendy.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So our practice today that we're gonna engage you guys in is practicing mindfulness and embodied peace. So in Roman Catholicism, January 1st is a World Day of Peace, established by Pope Paul VI in 1968, or so I am told. I wasn't around then. Annual messages that are offered explicitly link peace with social justice, poverty, war, and care for creation. And as I just mentioned, the Buddhist monks and Aloka are walking to DC and are also practicing peace, not as aggressive protest or demonstrative march, but as a mindful embodied practice. It's a mindful embodied practice. I've heard it said they are trying to walk peace into being. Walk peace into being. Think about that for just a second. So, Wendy, you recently caught up with these folks because they came near you. And so Phil's going to play a short video that you took. We're going to get your reflections for a moment. I think George was there with you too. Uh,
Was, yes.
and then we'll do a short peace meditation. So Phil, could you bring on the crowds actually? Thank you, Phil. So we've got a feel for this, a little bit of a feel for this, and some of you may have also been in similar situations. But Wendy, can you tell me what this was like? It's pretty packed. Did you get any feeling of peace with this?
Yeah, Sarah, it's a great question. So just for brief background for those on the service today, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the monks just passed through Wednesday and Thursday of this week. And it was really important for me to experience this. And, I think this is kind of one of those prime examples, where in mindfulness we have to remember and in life that we can't control the world around us. We can only control ourselves and the reaction that we have to external circumstances. As the video showed, it was quite busy. I wouldn't say more so than I expected, but there was a lot of hubbub. We had gotten there about 90, my dog and I went about 90 minutes early. So it was just gradually getting busier and busier. I mean, to the point where there was even people selling Walk for Peace shirts, and things like that. Stuff you'd hope not to see in that setting, but I guess it's expected. And so, for me in that moment, it was really important to look for glimpses of humanity, to look around at the gentleman who walked over with treats for George, the peaceful individuals that were arriving with gifts of flowers and bottled water and things. It was a really chilly day, but I took some time to focus, on the sun on my face and to breathe in the fresh air and kind of just really try to stay present and connected in the moment, myself and George. And I'll say this, when the monks did arrive in that moment, despite that it looked a little hectic, perhaps, there was a noticeable shift in the air. Things slowed down, they quieted, and it was a real just symbol of peace in that moment. You could feel the hush and the shift come over everybody in that moment.
Hmm. All right. So, do you think the Buddhist monks maintain that peaceful feeling using some of the same types of things that you do? Or what would you, as a mindfulness teacher, think is going on here? If I'm walking on the street and there's that many people, I'm probably not going to be the calmest. Of course, then again, I'm not a Buddhist monk. So what do you think?
Yeah, and yet you could be right. Walks of this sort. First of all, walks aren't they're not new. The monks have been participating in similar walks like this. These larger scale for just over 3 decades now, and it takes practice. For them just like it would for anybody else. I think sometimes I reflect on the question. How would anybody find peace in those moments? Generally you focus on what's happening around you. You focus on the intent of what you want, and then you try to bridge that gap. I think what I have found and what I noticed in some of the research I've done on this is, they utilize combinations of, deeply ingrained meditative practices and again, that internal focus rather than the focus on external surroundings. I think focusing on things like the physical sensation of walking. Some of the monks, not all, but many of them actually walk barefoot, to connect with the ground under their feet. They tend to walk very silently, which protects their calm, embracing what's happening around them, but staying internally focused. They look to practice extreme minimalism, carrying, only what's needed, oftentimes just the clothes on their back and perhaps a gift of flowers or something like that from the public. And they stay true to their focus, which is primarily on radiating loving kindness. All of those different things, again, which you'll note are all things we're all capable of, helps to maintain their peace.
And so Wendy's going to engage us here in just a moment in a practice so that we can be mindful. We can stretch that muscle, right? To be mindful amidst the busyness and the noise around us in our daily lives, and the challenges of advocacy, of advocacy in general, and animal advocacy. I would be remiss not to mention there's a holiday tomorrow, based on another walk, right? So tomorrow or not based on a walk, but tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr. Day here in the United States, right? January 19th. So these types of walks and these types, have lots of different characters and flavors and feelings to them and purposes to them. But we're not always, I can't go out today. There's so much damn snow here, Wendy. Excuse my fancy clergy word there. I got about 12 inches of snow here, so I'm not walking 2,300 miles anywhere.
Yeah.
So could you walk us through a short practice that might help us if we're not able to go out and walk right now to become more mindful in this moment?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sarah, I sure will. And just before getting into that, I just wanted to kind of remind everybody on this call that, one of the most exciting and I guess hopeful elements for me when it comes to mindfulness is, despite or in addition to it's rooted, the centuries of rooted history here and science-backed evidence, anyone can practice it. And that's what we're about to find out right now. Um, I think one of the most simple practices that I really participate in that can really be done, whether you're in a yoga studio or in a break room at a shelter or standing in place wherever you are, is the simple reminder of bringing your mind back to your breath. My business partner always uses the phrase, brains are going to brains are going to wander, and that's okay. That's natural and normal. But the practice, and again, that muscle retention of reminding your brain to refocus is what I'd like to look at here today.
Let's do it.
So, okay. Well, first, I would just ask that if everybody can get comfortable, find a comfortable position. I think we're all sitting, so I won't ask anybody to lie down right now. And just allow your body to settle. And if it's comfortable for you, go ahead and close your eyes. And let's take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhale softly through your mouth. Now we're going to just allow our breath to return to its natural rhythm. Simply notice it, the air moving in and out, the rise and fall of your chest or belly. As you focus on your breath, thoughts are going to naturally arise. That's okay. When you notice that your mind is wandering, perhaps to future plans, memories, or distractions, go ahead and pause for a moment. Gently acknowledge the thought or thoughts that you're having without judgment. There's no need to push these thoughts away. As you notice them, kindly guide your attention back to your breathing, back to this inhale and this exhale. Each time that you return, you're strengthening your ability to be present in the moment. Continue breathing for another moment, noticing each moment as it is. In and out. As we come to a close, let's take one slightly deeper breath together and feel the steadiness that we've created. When you're ready, gently open your eyes, and our focus will be to carry this calm awareness with us for the remainder of this session and this evening.
Thank you, Wendy. Mindfulness is our theme of the day, so you'll be hearing some more on mindfulness later. And we even have a mindfulness fellowship group today.